Bing boing bing. Everybody has a story to tell with Toddy One Skip. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Everybody Has a Story to Tell with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. This is a very important episode because this is an interview with somebody who, when we first came across each other online, we came at each other online. And we came to find out that the people that we were both reporting on, which was the Whittaker family, that we both ended up having very strong feelings about and a deep caring for. And it brought us together on this interview. So I'm pleased and I'm humbled, to be honest with you, because be the last person that I would think that we would have come together to work on something good together. And I'm grateful that our paths have crossed. And I think this is just a fascinating interview, and I hope you guys enjoy it. This is Rick from Vegas Profiles, and I'll put his channel down below. And I just really appreciate him spending time with me and talking about the Whittakers, people that he's spent time with, that he knows better than the average person, and what his feelings are about the immediate situation and what has come of the situation. Enjoy, guys. Here, I'm states away, and I'm saying, who's got their back? Who's got their backs? And there's a lot of people in my community, in my subscribers, and in the Whittaker community that literally are praying for them every night, and they think about them every day. So knowing that there is people out there that actually are active in doing things, that puts people's minds at ease that are worried about them.
So that's kind of how I know for a fact that, like, sending them money or things like that, it's not going to get there, right? Doing things for them. I know what it's going to take to get that house rebuilt because we have physically looked into it, right? We have been down there. We see the damage. I've been inside that house. I've smelled the smell, and now I'll always smell that smell now, right? Even their porch, we were going to put up a new porch for them with lighted railing and lighted steps so that they can see because they're getting older. So I know what it's going to take, and I know that that money won't get to them, and that won't get to that, right? We have the lumber secured. There's a man named Steve Fry in Beckley. They call him Big Weavy. He's the man who introduced me to them. He got the lumber yard. The local lumber yard was going to give us the lumber to do all of this, but the zoning permits, the dilapidation of the household, the no running sewage, really, the stench. I mean, it's like they don't need to be in that house. They don't need to be on that property.
Right.
They need to be together in a home, in a facility together. That's where they need to be.
Right. So now you had told me that, that Timmy, because there's people don't understand the hospital situation, and I had read from the letter, the email. So let's just straighten that out to your ability, what you know of as far as today, where Timmy is, and the correspondence he has with his family that's with him.
Timmy's with his mom and his Uncle Ray. When it all popped off, they put Timmy in a hotel, and I know this to be a fact. I was sent videos of Timmy in the hotel room.
Okay.
Right. I was sent videos of there's Facebook videos of Timmy shopping right afterwards, clean, wearing good clothes, smiling. Right. So Timmy, But they did. They put him up in a hotel until they figured out what they were going to do with this family, because it seems like, although it seemed like the state was looking for a reason to get them out of there and found the reason, it still felt rushed. It
Uh-huh.
felt like they didn't have an answer to what they were going to do. So they put Timmy in a hotel for a while, and they put Ray and Lorraine in a facility, basically. And they have multiple health issues already. Lorraine's had a massive heart attack before this.
Right.
So now I know Timmy is with his mom. And people, I get flack for that. People say, "Oh, they would never just take him and put him up in a hotel room." I know it to be a fact. They
Right.
did,
Right.
and the bottom line is they're better off. And if you
Right.
haven't gone to this house and you haven't sat with them and ate with them and seen the living conditions, just as a person on a personal level, I don't want to see them not be around their family. I just know where they're at physically, mentally, all of it is better.
Right. Right. Right.
Better.
Okay, so let me ask you. So now, when you came on the scene, it was a couple of years ago that you went to the house for the first time, and
Yeah.
so you actually went into the house, and we know, and and what made you go there? What was your interest in going there? The Mark Lada stuff?
So, listen, Big Weavy, my friend, is the one
Right.
who introduced Mark Lada to them. He's the one who found them for Mark Lada.
Okay. Is he a police officer?
No, he's more of a con man than anything else, but he's my friend, right? He's a
Okay.
goofy guy.
Right. And Big Weavy's got his own YouTube channel, I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's taking a break from it.
Okay.
It takes a lot to do this. You know that, with all the
Yeah.
trolls and
Yeah.
people,
Oh yeah.
just they want to hate you for some reason, and
Yeah.
it wears on you. It wears on your soul to do this.
Right.
Now, so we see Mark Lada getting 40 million views. We want to become millionaires.
Right.
I'm not gonna
That's
try to
honest.
sugarcoat it. We
That's
wanted
honest.
a piece of that. And then we got there. And then we started, we were rolling footage for like the first maybe half hour, 45 minutes, maybe hour tops. And we both looked at each other and shook our heads, and we both just turned the cameras all off. Like, this is not what we came here for. And then on the first night that we left the holler, both of us just looked at each other and said, "We can't do this. We can't make money off these poor people. We need to help them."
Right.
And so
Okay.
that was my introduction to them.
See, and nobody saw that on the camera. Nobody saw that video. That was not a video.
Nope.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes, and
Yes.
because I was very critical of you. That's how our first engagement came.
Yes.
And then I saw you on YouTube Streets, and I have nothing but respect for that channel. And I was like, "Where's that voice?" And I'm hearing, and I went back. I said, "No," and that's why I was like, "How could this guy be the same guy as this guy?" And that's when I reached out to you and said, "Yo, man, I just saw you on this. I'm the same person that did this.
Right.
I came at you sideways. I'm sorry." And asked you about the family, basically. And I'm grateful, Rick. I'm so grateful that you took the time and read my letter and said, "You know what? I'm sorry too."
You should have come at me sideways. Look at how it just ended. Look at the
Right,
money
yeah.
that has been run off. And that family is owed.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
People should be looking at everybody, including myself, when we go down there. Anybody who gets and starts filming at the Whittakers, look at what they've done to this family. So
Yeah.
you should have been. People like you are the reason why some people stay in check, right?
I appreciate that.
I'm not mad at you for that. I was more upset that I was being confused with the one guy who just showed up and said, "Hey, send Ray Ray out." That wasn't me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you were trying to tell me that. I think
That's what I
somewhere
was like, "That's not me."
Yeah.
And then
listen,
it just
I
got
can be
frustrating,
guilty
and
of
we
not
just went
hearing
at each
things.
other.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah.
really grateful because I find you to be really articulate and to have a heart that, you know, and again, didn't know anything from behind the scenes, but I really was kind of desperate in about this family, and to come to find out that you have stayed connected to the family. I felt like, wow, so there is somebody looking out for them that's actually looking out for them, because you didn't make any more videos about it. You haven't done anything to let
Nothing.
the public know anything.
And you know, I will always keep it that way. And I will always leave their house with them winning, you know,
Right.
in our interaction. Oh,
Right.
financially, spiritually, hopefully, all of it, right? I
Right.
want to come away every time I leave their presence. I want them to be better off for it. And you don't
That's
do
a
that
great
by
idea.
putting a
Right.
camera in their face and saying, look at what I'm doing for these poor people. You go and you do what you can when you can. Now that's going to
Right.
be even harder. And it should be. You know, being able to help this family should not be as easy as knowing somebody in West Virginia in the town that they're from. That's how easy it was for me to get to them.
Right.
Look at what the people in their own community have done. Look at the jackals they have brought,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it's
it's
you
awful.
know, it's appalling. And you know, here's so I have this is my feelings, and it was only your letter that made me say maybe they're not going to end up together in that house.
And they,
So how do we get Betty there? You know what I'm saying? So, but
yeah,
can you tell people the experience, like, because you said to me in you said I can't get that smell out of my nose. Basically, I will always smell. So for the people like me, who was just a couple days ago saying no, they should be together in the house, tell them why they shouldn't be together with as much as you could share.
I wish everybody who wants that could individually spend a day at the Whittaker's house with all of them. Go inside, sit down, talk to them, meet them, smell the smell, see the sights, right? Shake their hands
Right.
because it's real easy for everybody to sit and look down on the people that have been there, or look and say, oh, this pipe dream of they should be together. Yes, they should, but they should not be together on that property with that family doing, you know, there's so much that goes into this family that people don't understand. You think that pain in BJ's eyes is there for no reason? There
No,
are
I
things
mean,
that are
yeah.
unspeakable that have been done to her by her own family on that property. There are people that are on lists that live in campers on that property. You think Lorraine willingly got pregnant with Timmy? No,
Right. Right.
right? This is, there are awful, unspeakable things happening. And then you compound on top of that just the awful living conditions that they live in. And they don't even know any better. They're happy because that's all they know. So everybody who says, oh, they should be reunited and put back in their home. No, they shouldn't. I've been there. I've talked to this family. I've talked to each and every one of them individually, walked the property with them.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, they're better off where they're at. They just need to be together where they're
Right.
at.
Right. Right.
They're well taken, the most well taken care of they've ever been in their life right now.
Right. Right.
They're
Now,
just
do
still
you
apart.
think so? Like people like Lorraine, who's very limited in her speech, we don't know what Lorraine thinks. I mean, I don't know what she thinks because I don't know what she's capable of thinking and understanding. And same goes for Ray. So, what? Uh, because you spent time with them, what do you think that they're thinking about not being able to see Betty, or understanding about like what happened to them? What do you think that they're thinking?
So Lorraine has had a heart attack and gone to the hospital, obviously, before. So she's been away in a facility, even for a small amount of time.
Okay.
So has Ray. So they both probably thought that's basically kind of what was going on. I think Ray, his attention span, if they put a TV in front of him, I don't I don't see Ray crying in the middle of the night missing his family, especially with Lorraine being there. I see Lorraine absolutely being sad because she's spending time away from Timmy, who is her son, who is her whole life or his whole life.
Right.
They've been together, and I can only imagine the heartbreak for her. And then you look at Betty, who was just left. They just left Betty because she can talk,
Right. Yeah. Because
you
she's
know,
verbal.
because she's verbal, but she should have been taken with them, you know,
Or at
and,
least
and
have
then
the option. Or at least have the option.
yeah,
Why
instead.
do you go ahead? I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
Instead, you have these people that are down there and they're filming her and they're putting it on the internet of her crying, of her being sad. I just want my family back. And you see this
Right.
just 10 years. It's like when somebody becomes president, what they look like the day they become president and the day
Right.
they leave that office.
Right. Right.
That's we're
Right.
watching that with Betty right now.
Yeah. Yeah. She's aging in dog years. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. And you could
And,
die
and
of a broken heart. You could
oh
certainly die
yes.
of or at least want to, or at least want to. And that's, I don't know what's worse, dying from it or wanting to die from it and sitting there in misery. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
Betty is the worst off of them all right now. What she is dealing with and what she has to see and go through, and have these people promise her this and promise her that and not come through and not take her to this court date, or she doesn't even understand what's really happening because she doesn't have that mentality, that mindset, that ability,
Yeah,
right?
no, she doesn't because she lived on the porch. She
That's
lived
it.
on the porch, and that's
That's
what
it.
she knows, the porch. So let me ask you, again, share what you can, don't share what you can't, because we are recording.
Yeah.
Do you know why, or do you know if Betty has seen her siblings or her nephew?
I haven't heard that she has. I don't know why they wouldn't let her. It's awful. It's because technically, I guess you could say that they were in the care of Betty, but were they really? They were left there. They were left there by the state for Betty to take care of the best she can, you know? And then you have the patriarch of the family, Larry,
Right,
who is the
right,
youngest sibling of them all.
right. Is he? Yes, he is, right? Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
baby. He's the baby of the family, right? And then I think it goes Lorraine and then Betty and then on and on and up,
Well, no,
right?
Lorraine is older than Betty. That I know for a fact.
Or Betty and then Lorraine.
Right, right, right,
So
right,
so Betty has had to, since she was able, probably since she was 5 or 6, been taking care of nonverbal members of her family. That's all she's ever known. And
right,
now they're gone. And they're
right,
gone because you Betty never matured into an adult mind, really.
right.
She's like that teenage girl who babysits. And she does the best she can.
Huh. I never thought of her as that, but I can understand because she doesn't know anything. She only knows what she sees on television and the stories of people that come and sit on the porch with her that have went outside, and the experiences of going wherever she goes to shop in Beckley, right?
Right,
Or in
right,
Odd or wherever
right. She
she
doesn't
goes.
drive. She doesn't do any of that. Somebody
Right.
has to take her everywhere she goes, you know, and you have members of the family that I think do have good hearts. Kenneth is a good-hearted person, but I could see him just piecing out and leaving the situation and letting it figure itself out. Like, I don't
Well,
think he
is
has
it
the backbone.
he hasn't done anything.
Yeah,
Nobody
he doesn't have the backbone.
so nobody has actually, as far as I know, helped them. We had somebody who was, and then there was somebody else. So we've had two people that were willing to put the retainer down for a lawyer, but we couldn't guarantee that they were going to get to the lawyer's office. So how do you ask people, okay, put the money down? Yeah, because you don't want to spend your money and have it not go anywhere because somebody didn't show up. So it's such a cluster fuck, pardon me, but that's what it is.
Fight for Betty to be put in the same facility with her siblings, and let the rest of the family figure out how they're going to live without the nonverbals there and the money that they bring in on their Social Security, SSI, stuff like that,
Do you
right?
know that? Do you know for a fact what they get? Because there's people that have said that they get the minors. She even said, I think Betty said something about that she got her daddy's, it's BACA or DACA or something like that, where they get the, what is
Yeah, they
it?
do.
So they get that. Go ahead.
It's been mismanaged.
But I mean, do you know about how much they get each month, or, what they were getting?
Anywhere from $2,400 to $9,000 a month is a fair guesstimate from the high and the low of that. I've never asked them their finances. I would never ask that.
Of course.
But I do know what the high and the low is on each one of the four. Just call them the Whittakers that matter the most in our eyes, at least, right? That's Betty, Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine. Right. All the other Whittakers you will never solidly hear me take up for, because they are able-bodied. Larry worked his whole life in the mines. Like Kenneth has worked. BJ has worked on being a hustler her whole life. But her sons are not good kids, man. They're the ones who really treated the nonverbals like crap. And there was a guy, Jason, that was staying on the property, and I'll say his name. I don't care. He's on a list, right?
Right.
He comes walking up and asks Big Weavy for a cigarette, because I had just given Kenneth a cigarette and Larry a cigarette. And he says, "Hey, can I have one of those?" And Weavy punked that dude all the way back to the camper. "You better get away from me. We don't deal with people like you. You better take off, bro."
Right.
And just, I didn't even know. I said, "What was that about?" And he says, "That dude's on one of those lists. He's on a PDF list."
Right.
Now, you look at the there was a property next to theirs that was for sale. Beautiful property. Well, members of the family or people near them went over, stripped all the copper out of the property, out of the walls and everything, made it unlivable. We could have tried to buy that for them. We could have put them in a way better, like their properties connect. You could throw a rock from one property and hit the other.
I know the property you're talking about.
Yeah. And it was beautiful when it went up for sale. Oh, I pulled down the driveway and everything, but I wouldn't want to live in that holler. But it's beautiful.
But they want to live in the holler. They want to live in the holler. So let me ask you this: what do you say? Because an argument, it was an argument that I put up where you've watched the show Hoarders. There's people that live in awful conditions, Rick. We know that, and they're not taking family members apart. They're not taking family members away. Why were the Whittakers taken away? What's your opinion on that? And why were they taken away? Because Mark Lada's been making videos about them for a while now. They weren't taken away. They weren't taken away when you went. They weren't taken away when Tyler Oliveira went.
Right.
Why were they taken away here, do you think?
I think the allegations of abuse came out. I know Eric Carroll called the Adult Protective Services on them for that. I do not believe BJ did what they say she did. I believe the dog attacked Timmy.
Right.
And BJ beat the dog off with a shoe and ended up hitting Timmy with the shoe. And Timmy was heated about it. And then I think Patrick teaching him the terms and the words and
Right.
led him when he said, "Hey, who did that to you? What? BJ hit you?" You know,
Right.
and Timmy is the purest heart out there. That guy, if you ever met Timmy, he is my favorite by far. There's something just soulful about Timmy. There's something that's like, and it's not the childlike quality that he has. You see him when he's just by himself eating in nature, and it's like, man, this guy's feeling something I'll never get to feel. I'll never know what he's feeling. It's like this ease, this peace. He's just at peace, you know. And the things that, and even Big Weeby, he called me and he said, "You were right, Rick." Because when we left the first time, I said, "Timmy is the one for all of them. Like he is the one with star quality from the nonverbals, right?" And when all of this went down, and when Patrick started putting Timmy up and making all this money on Timmy, and Weeby called me, he said, "You were right about Timmy." I said, "You just didn't spend enough time with him, obviously. Like, Timmy is different. He has this peace. I don't know." And it's sad because Timmy, soon enough, within the next 4 or 5 years, even closer maybe, will be by himself. And then everybody says, "Oh, they should be back at the property." For what? Why? Why does Timmy need to be back at that property when his mother goes, when Ray goes, when Betty goes, right? And all this has done is it has pushed that date closer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What life does he have there that he won't have a better life where he's at?
Oh, I agree now. That I agree with when the passing of family members come. But so he's now living with his mom in a facility and his uncle Ray.
That's what I'm hearing. I had somebody named Linda who came at me pretty hard in my comments, so I got to, I mean, I don't call them every day or call down there every day to
Right.
check on.
Right.
Just kind of letting things are just flowing when they flow, right? Like,
Right. It's
hey,
fluid.
fall down there. So when Linda, and I'm not gonna throw shade on her or hate on her, she says, "Oh, I worked in that field and that would never happen." Well, it happened. I don't know what to tell you. It happened. He was in a hotel.
Right.
Like, like that's a weird thing to even argue, but for the sake of not, I was just like, whatever. She says, "Oh, he's with his mom." So I called, and I'm double checking through multiple people, because you don't want to just go on one person's word ever,
Right.
right? You want eyewitness or nothing. You want, I see it right now in front of me, or it's not true, right? And so the consensus has been, yeah, he's in that facility with Lorraine and Ray. And it opens up, a lot of bad things happen in group homes, adult group homes, facilities, things like that. They do. But all those things have happened to these people through their own family multiple times. Timmy is
Oh,
proof of that, and you just hope that this is one of the times that it works out, because it's not all the time in these facilities, but it is
right.
possible.
No, it
But
is. I mean, it is. First of all, the workforce right now is so minimal.
yeah,
And so you've got people that are overloaded with jobs and hours that they're taking on. And then they have the difficulty of trying to deal with somebody like Ray, who could be, I'm sure, very frustrating. And I heard that Timmy does have a temper.
so yeah. But Timmy's temper, he's more on himself, like, like but he yell, and that's all learned too. That's,
Right.
he didn't just pick this up in life. uh he's a lot smarter than people think. He understands a lot more than people think. And I've caught Timmy. I've had conversations with Kenneth, looked over at Timmy, and Timmy smiling at a joke that
You
it
wouldn't
was
think you'd
too
get.
slick of a joke for you to think Timmy was going to get it. And he kind of giggled. Just a glance over and saw him giggling to my peripheral. So Timmy
Right.
understands what you're saying a lot more than people give him credit for. He just can't verbalize it as well.
Do you
And
think that he will? Do you think that for the rest of his life, more or less, he will need assistance as far as living? Because there are nonverbal people that can live alone and they're able to do that. But do you think, because you know him certainly better than I'm sure most of the people that's going to listen to this, do you think he'll ever be able to be independent? Or
as independent as if there was a facility where he had his own apartment, but they had dedicated people for crisis, right? I would hate to see Timmy in his own place when the stove catches fire.
yeah, that's the first thing I'm thinking. I mean, it's not funny, but that's the first thing I'm thinking, you
Yeah.
know.
But other than that, do I believe Timmy is capable of locking his front door, walking down the stairs, walking down the sidewalk, going to the grocery store, picking out the food that he wants, paying for it, bagging it, and going back home, unlocking his door, bringing it in, putting it in the fridge, and then putting it in the microwave? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think Timmy could do that on a daily basis. I think he could make habits. And I think that he could be I think Timmy being on that property has stunted the the best abilities that Timmy could have shown in life. And now he's older. Now what?
Right. Right. But so we've seen that he likes to draw and or
Hmm.
color and
Yes.
stuff like that. So I mean, like, I would think that would kind of be like an escape. It relaxes him because we see him. We most of the videos he's right there with it.
Yeah.
And what is
Yeah.
he usually like? What is he usually drawing or like?
It's more like coloring books that I've seen, or marker books, things like that. Uh, we've taken, I don't know how to explain it. You know, the posters are black and they got the white insides with,
Yes,
and
yes, yes. The posters from the
those.
70s and 80s that you
Hmm.
put the neon
Right.
colors and then the marker always ran out before you got to the
Yes. So we've taken those before. Uh, Also, Timmy is fine walking. He likes to just walk off into the woods a lot. And I wish, my biggest wish in the world is Patrick Rourke never came around Timmy Whittaker. And that's the truth. And and by proxy, you can throw Eric in there for, I don't, I know he's walking away from this clean somehow, but I just don't feel it. I feel like that guy knew something was up and did not step in like a man right away and fix it. I wish those men would have never been around him. They've ruined him. And Mark Leda, for that matter. I wish Mark Leda would have never gone down there. None of us would have ever gone down there.
Yeah,
You
so
know?
see, so when you think of that, okay, when you think of if we wouldn't have gone down there, they would still be living in the exact conditions they were living in, but they would be there together, okay? And we would
Yeah.
know no better.
Right.
So how do
Yeah.
we argue that to they're better off in the facility just because we know about it? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, the family has been ruined by outsiders coming to the property.
Clearly. I mean, look, clearly
Every
so.
every one of us going down there has played some role in it. Now I've tried to make sure that my footstep is a lot lighter and a lot deeper at the same time, right? Like I don't care about the social media or the fame or the money. I care about these people. They're poor people. Now that what has gone on, and maybe that needed to happen. Maybe it took the Patrick Rourke situation to get these people the care that they need, but it leaves Betty just to die of a broken heart.
Yeah, because they've been gone for several months now.
I think the best fight is to get Betty into that facility with her siblings, and then the rest of the family
Can fend for
shouldn't be able to
themselves.
ever see them.
Can fend for themselves. Yeah.
Can fend for themselves. They should not be able to ever see them again because they are that negative of a force on their life, whether they like it or not. Timmy
So
has learned.
why do you think Larry is such a negative force?
Listen, I've been to prison. I was raised on the streets and before that an orphanage. I know the soul of a killer when I meet one. And when I met Larry Whittaker, it was dark. It was like this guy right now could snap his fingers and we're all dead. He has
Wow.
that power over that family. And they were all positioning themselves in a way that if he snapped, it's go time. That man should not be able to focus or position people like Timmy in any way. You want to do it with your grandsons, do it with your grandsons. You want to do it with people around you that are of the mind, do that. Do not use nonverbal special needs family members in a manner that it's like, of course you want to teach them not to talk to outsiders, any of that. The first 2 hours that I spoke to that family, they always looked at Larry first before they answered anything they answered to me. They always looked at Larry.
Really? Huh.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm saying he's an extreme, and he has a dark aura.
Yeah, that's not a good person though. I mean,
You know,
that's not somebody that I would want to kind of be alone with if I caught that vibe. I mean, there's a reason why people have gut instincts, right? Right? I mean, that's a gift. So,
I've also sat with Larry and watched him cry on the conversation that we were having. So it's not like he's just that dark. I'm just saying the power he holds over that family is not ever going to be let loose. Like that man rules that family with an iron fist, and the conditions that they were living in are not conducive to the family being around Larry when he has that kind of power hold over them. If Larry was a younger man, I think he would have stormed that facility by now and taken his family back.
mm. So, but now does BJ rule Larry?
Listen, my daughter is the craziest thing that has ever walked into my life. She's 7. She runs me. And when you see Larry look at BJ, when you see their interactions, when you see what BJ's been allowed to get away with, absolutely. But she doesn't do it through threat or fear. It's because he loves BJ that much.
Right.
And I'll make this clear. Larry has never, in any way that I have ever heard of, abused or assaulted anybody in his family. Physically, any kind of way. Sexually, none of it. Never.
Right. Right.
So he's not that guy. But things did happen when he was away. And things happened to his daughter. Like BJ's been through a lot. BJ Rocha's been through a lot.
She did put out a video where she did share that she was violated by her uncle Michael. She did
Yes.
put that video out there. And let me tell you something. She put it out there in defense of somebody like she said that somebody accused her dad of violating her, and
I did not know all that.
but the way nobody really heard that, what they heard was that BJ threatened, according to Larry, and this is speculation, but this was also something that I think Larry said, but because of the influence of Patrick and Eric, we don't know. They had, but supposedly Larry was saying that BJ threatens if he doesn't do things for her, that he will say that she did violate him. What do you think of that?
I've never heard that. I've never heard of that situation being a situation. BJ talking about her uncle and taking up for her dad. See, I never watched any of those videos either. I try not to watch the family on the internet because everybody kind of has this bias that they lean towards when they're doing it. Even me, when I went after, say, Eric for his mannerisms, when he, his eyes, all of that, when he was talking about them, going after Patrick for the same thing, things like that. There's a bias to it. There's a level of bias because I'm in the know. I know these guys are dirty,
Right,
right?
right.
And it's the same thing when BJ puts something out. It's in her own bias. When Larry has somebody say something, or somebody comes to Betty and says, you know, puts a camera in her face and says, hey, we'll get him back, and they know she's going to just. Some of the
There
lines
was,
I've heard Betty talk or say on camera, uh, especially on Patrick's cameras, has been coerced. Those are lines that have been fed to her, and you can tell. You can
yeah.
tell just by the cadence of how she talks. You know her as a person. This is not her words. This is something somebody told her to say on camera, and she is line for line going through the script now.
Yeah, she's not a good actress.
No, but Betty is a pure woman. She is a pure woman. She loves her family with all of her heart.
So when people call her a scammer, what do you say, Rick?
Absolutely.
Is she a
See, that's
scammer?
listen. Uh, like I said, I spent half my life savings on these people. Right? I know what they make every month. I know that that money is going somewhere else besides that refrigerator. I
Right.
let her pull at my heartstrings to fill that refrigerator. It's fine. So she knows she can manipulate you with her feelings, but she doesn't do it maliciously. She doesn't do it with malice in her heart. Uh, she does it because they literally have no money left because look, there's a guy out there notoriously every payday takes Kenneth out to the bar, gets him drunker than the skunk, right? Calls him the next day and tells Kenneth, hey, don't forget you borrowed $500 from me last night. Every paycheck, Kenneth gives up $500 thinking that this guy, he lent $500 to him the night before. Every paycheck.
Wow.
That's the people of the hollers down there. This is everybody is like this. Grandma will get you for your paycheck if she can, but it's a finesse game, right? And that's kind
Wow.
of who they are. So being around that, they see outsiders coming in, big old fish like me, and but I see it. I know what's happening when I'm doing it. I don't do it just for them. I do it for me. I do it because I have a lot of karmic debt that I have to atone for. I've done bad things in my life that I need to atone for. I need to not be the piece of shit that I used to be. How do I do that? By helping people.
You know what's weird? And I mean, I believe you, but Patrick was supposed to, and that's where he said, well, I mean, he didn't say it as eloquently as you, but that's the story that he was selling us, was
Oh,
that,
was atoning for his sins?
yeah, without just saying that he felt something good, like he was doing something good for the first time, and that was Timmy, and I believed that until he didn't fulfill his promise in paying the Whittakers to at least to just, first of all,
Yeah.
pay them what you owe them. Pay them
So,
what you owe them, you know?
so here's where people need to step into a different mindset and way of thinking. Both of the comments that you just made are correct. I think he probably started and it gave him a good feeling. And then he saw the money and he ran with the money, right? Both things can be true. They can exist on the same
Right,
plane.
right, right. Well, now they're
As for
saying
me,
that they're saying now that there's text messages saying that it was all about the money, that Patrick, there's a text message thread. Supposedly, I haven't seen that. Um,
I
I don't
wouldn't,
believe I've seen it, but
I wouldn't
that,
doubt it.
yeah.
Why would he bring in Eric Carroll? He brought him in for a reason.
Well, Eric reached out to him, I heard. Eric reached out to him at first,
Okay.
and then and
Yeah. What's
well,
the
we see
point?
the result of it. We see the result of what happened here, you know.
Right. So Big Weevy's comment of the year to me in our conversations in the background about all of this is you see what they did, Rick? We did the nuclear opposite of that. We went nuclear the other way. He says we did the right thing. And we did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to say, oh, I know in my heart right now, if I was in Patrick's shoes, I would give those people that money. That's their money to earn. And you continue to make money. Now you've burned yourself out of making probably millions of dollars for what? Tens of thousands? Like that's a sucker's deal.
No, what he should have done, and because I was talking to Patrick at one point, and what I wish he would have done was he could have been a hero in this.
He could have.
After Eric left, he could have been a hero in this. He
Yeah.
could have had the community support, and he could have made he definitely could have made a lot of money. But I don't understand why he took a temporary situation and made it a permanent situation when he could have just and he
He had
didn't.
access even further after. When all of it blew up, look, I made a video about Eric and his mannerisms and his movements and kind of the forensic breakdown of them, which take it for what it is. It's not science, it's forensic, you know.
Right. And it's your experience and the people you've
Correct.
met and
Correct.
right.
So, but for me to step out, everybody was coming at Patrick and nobody was coming at Eric at that time. And I made that video specifically about Eric because I see something, I call it life experience. There is something that Eric is walking cleanly away from this somehow, and he's not clean in this. If there's a text message thread out there, like you said, hopefully you get it, you find it, and I'm willing to bet everything I own that Eric Carroll is in there talking about making money on these poor people.
Oh, we
And
definitely know he was made. Yeah, we saw that in the videos.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, think about it. Why didn't he pay them? I mean, that tells you right there. Why didn't he pay them?
Exactly. He just threw his hands up, ran off with the rest of the money after, giving loans with their money out to Patrick, from what I understand from their mouths. Look, I stopped watching the whole saga.
Right.
I couldn't stomach it anymore. Like I would go to bed seething about it. And there's very few people. I know I can't be the only person, me and Weavy, that have ever gone down there and not been braggadocious about it, not just been, hey, look at us, Kardashian with your phone out, like, hey, oh, here's me and Timmy. Like, why? And I have sponsors, right? Or I did back then for a clothing company, right? That
Right.
had to do with bikers. And Ray liked the hat that I was wearing. And that's why I made the little short that I did about coming on the porch and Ray's eating a sandwich and he has the hat on. That was my sponsor's hat, and I left it that's his. He
Right.
probably still
Right.
has the damn thing. It was my favorite hat in the world, but he liked it. So I
Right.
made that kind of for my sponsor, like, hey, look, Ray likes your hat, right? And that's the only thing I ever really put up until all this craziness started. And it all really started with Tyler Oliveira.
Yeah.
You know, he got a hold of me and Weavy, and we talked to the family, and we tried to secure like $10,000 or something, 8 for the family, 1 for me, 1 for Weavy, right?
Right. I remember that
To bring
video.
him
Right.
in.
Right.
And that's a fair deal because we know the money that Mark Lada's made off of them. And at the time, we don't know if Mark is on the up and up. He showed receipts afterwards and showed like he is. I can't hold Mark to the same standard nearly as I do Eric and Patrick, because Mark at least made good on sending them big chunks of money, you know,
Absolutely.
compared to what he's made off of them.
Yeah.
Probably not nearly as big, but still big chunks of money. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars he sent
Yeah.
these people.
$153,000 that they could
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Right. And that's not
That's
including
that's
the Walmart things and all the other stuff. And you
right,
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Or just the time, effort, hotels, gas, plane, all that, right? So I can't really come down on Mark for that. But at the time, we know what Mark is making off of them. And
Right.
Tyler has got like 5 million subscribers or something. We're like,
Right.
no, bro. We talked to the family. We said, hey, if we can get you guys 8 grand to bring this guy down here, and we each keep 1,000, you know, you guys want him here or not? And at first, they Mark had them scared that he had exclusive rights to them. We let them understand that he doesn't own the exclusivity of anything with these people, right? They haven't signed anything, and they don't have the mental ability or capability to sign for themselves as it is,
Right.
right? So we come back at Tyler. We tell him, this is what it's going to cost, because we're tired of seeing these people not make anything. At this
Right.
point, we didn't know that Mark was sending that money. We thought he was gypping them too. So we were trying to secure what we thought was a big amount, $8,000 for them, and
Right.
then $1,000 that covers us going there and coming back. Each of us, well, Weavy would make out way better because he lives right down the road,
Right.
but
Right.
so we do that. Tyler goes and he finds the only other lady, I guess, in the world that can take him down there for free, and then he dogs her out on the way out. Like the guy is a creep. Tyler Oliveira is a creep.
Yeah. No, I remember, and I did a critical video about that.
Yeah.
I did, a critical video about him and you, in all honesty, about that. You
Yeah.
know, you remember that. I'm not going to hide
Yeah.
behind stuff, but
Yeah.
I didn't know about the 8,000 for the Whittakers. I'm just,
Yeah,
you
we
know
were
what I'm
trying to
saying?
get them paid, man,
Yeah.
and ourselves a little bit of coin in the side. Like, why not, right?
Right. Well,
It
here's the
was,
thing. I always said, and I did say, when Eric was out there supposedly building the house in Patrick too, I said, I don't care how much these content creators make, as
yeah,
long as the Whittakers get what they're supposed to get. I don't
yep,
care how much.
yeah.
But the problem was they got it all. The Whittakers got nothing, and they got split up.
So that family, this last round of content creators, ruined them. And then you compound on top of that, Mark Leda, the whole situation that went down with Tyler Oliveira calling out Mark Leda. That was kind of our fault, mine and Weavy's, because we had spoken to Tyler about it in our conference that we were having, and said, hey, man, we were just down there, and we don't see anything but brand new siding on this shack of a home, right? It's just
Right.
this very small home. And, we don't see anything from 40 million views. It doesn't look like 40 million views ran through here, is
Right.
basically how we put it. And then Tyler went and just said it out loud to the world. Hey, Mark Leda, I think you're not doing anything. What's up with
Right.
this?
No, he
And Mark
definitely,
came,
without
yeah,
reaching out to Mark and finding
never
out.
asked for receipts or nothing.
Right.
And
And then
Mark
Mark had him.
absolutely destroyed him with receipts. And it kind of made me feel good too. I was like, damn, Mark, you really did do this for these people. Like, you really did do something, and you didn't
Right.
gloat about it. You didn't have to feel the need to put it out there. And
Right.
that taught me another lesson about, hey, man, Just whatever you're doing, do silently. This ain't
Right.
for the world. There's plenty of things that I'll talk about in my life on the internet that are for the world.
Right. Right.
This ain't one of them. Like the what is going on with the Whittaker is never going to be that.
Right.
Besides, like talking to you, but you're the only person I've ever talked to about this. Besides the couple of videos I made on Patrick or Eric or Tyler, right? And those are more videos on situations that are happening with the Whitakers. Not look at me, I'm down at the
Right.
Whitakers.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, we're the Whitakers aren't going to be pictured in this video,
No,
except
no.
for the
Well, no, that
thumbnail. We'll probably have me and you and the Whitakers. 'Cause I'm using just the same thumbnail of the Whitakers, the
yeah,
same picture of Mark's. Um,
yeah.
so
Well,
let
I
me
mean,
ask you.
I can send you some better pictures.
Well, yeah, I'll put up some
Yeah,
pictures that you have, and I'll put
yeah,
them up on there. Sure,
yeah.
I'd
I mean, I don't
appreciate
mind.
that. Well, let me
Uh,
ask you this.
or
So,
yeah.
go
hmm
ahead. Um,
or I don't know when you want to put this up or any of that. Like, uh, if
I'm
I don't get it
excited
back
about
to you
this.
in time, then that's
Yeah,
my bad.
I could also put them up later, or you could put
Yeah,
them up
there
as
you go.
well. I mean,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
because I'm probably going to put this up very shortly after we record it, because
yeah.
I
That's
think that
fine.
it's going to make a
And
lot of people
and
happy, or at least put them a little at ease. Why do you think, though? Why do you think? Why do you think Eric got APS involved in this? Why do you think he did that? Do you think it was to
spite.
cover what he would do? Is that what you think it was? Spite?
I don't think he's smart enough to cover his tracks with APS like that because
You know,
that
he
is
has
a hell of a
family
gamble.
members supposedly that work in that field.
It's a hell of a gamble. He is opening up an investigation that includes himself in it. It's a hell of a gamble. I I don't think he understood the full ramifications of it. I think he did it out of anger and spite. These people ain't, hey, Patrick ain't going to sit down there and make this money without me with these people. I'll show them. Or,
Uh,
I mean, then there's the nuclear opposite of that. Maybe he did care about that family. Maybe I got my personal reading of Eric Carroll from what I've seen on the internet, by the way, like what really can that be? Maybe I'm wrong about the man, but my gut's my
where's the
gut for a
money?
reason.
But where's the money for the Whitakers? And why
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
he
yeah.
leave?
That man clearly ran off with some money.
Why didn't he leave them? He left them a $250 gift card for.
He
I
tried to
mean, like,
go, yeah, yeah, yeah. He tried to get them to buy out on $200 gift card and some junk. Like that guy is, and he charged everybody the whole way. He charged everybody to live like a 5-star lifestyle while he was down there for a few months.
and nothing became. The Whitakers have nothing to show for it. It actually is the absolute reverse.
Right. So from what I understand, what I see is it was supposed to be a third. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Patrick, Eric, Whitakers.
Right.
Well, Patrick and Eric took their third, never gave the Whitakers their third, obviously, but they wanted to charge off everything that was going, i.e., the bed and breakfast or wherever they were staying or
Or
food and all
trips to
that.
Parisburg, getting the
All that.
Amish there,
All
getting
that.
the guy from California.
Right. All that gets charged what? To the Whitakers portion? The Whitakers portion should have never been touched. Here's how it goes. If you want to get into content creation, you're going to be the one taking the hit,
Right.
right? And that's the only proper way to do it. If you have a third deal, right? The people who you are making content about need to absolutely get their third. That's the first person to get paid. Then your partner gets paid. Then whatever's left, that's yours,
Right.
right?
Right.
And that's
Right.
all there is to it. When you get into your car and you drive halfway across the United States and you stay in hotels the whole time you're giving your credit card, guess what? That's charge it to the game. That is a part of this. You're paying for yourself to do that. They're not paying for you to do that. And that's what
Right.
these guys tried to do. They tried to manage it in a way that the Whitakers took the hit. Oh, we took them bowling. We spent $200 taking them to the movies.
The
So
best thing was the pizza, only to find out the pizza was donated. Eric said he paid for it out of his pocket, only to find out the pizza's donated. And then he wanted to say, then he turned in another video and said that, I mean, they were going to pay for their own pizza, a donated pizza that you paid for, supposedly.
Right. Or you got Patrick saying, "Oh, well, I got running water in my house. No floorboards, but I got they can come live here." Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the money that you should be giving them, charge them to fix up your house,
Right.
right? And pay all of those absorbent. Just build your house for you, and then what? When you get tired of them or you're not making money off of them no more, you kick them to the curb. You got a new house out of it. You haven't left them in a better situation.
Exactly.
You've done nothing to enrich their lives. Like, you're a piece of shit.
Well, there's rumor. There's rumor. There's more than rumor, because they said it on videos that they wanted to get like custody of Timmy. What do you think about that?
Patrick at times gave me the creeps with the way he was with Timmy. And I don't want to put a jacket on somebody like that, but just something it's like, bro, listen, I get it. I've been around Timmy. Like, I felt his aura, his energy, right?
Right.
But never in my mind would I say, Timmy, sleep in the bed next to me. Or, like, rub my feet.
Right. Yeah.
Like the guy was weird. He doesn't need custody of his dog, much less Timmy Whittaker. I think that guy is a true through and through con man. And I think everybody in that area has probably had some sort of thought about, we can make money on the Whittakers if we just get the right person involved. Patrick moved on it. He found Eric. Eric found him. They found each other. And I think that guy, there are things that he did that didn't bother me as much as they bothered other people. Him teasing with Timmy in Victoria's Secret. Poor taste. Kind of guy's thing, right? If you're a guy, you get it. You're just picking.
And Timmy's 46 years old. And because I had a problem with that. But then I found out that the woman was Patrick's sister's best friend in the store. And it became something different.
It was just him kind of razzing on. That's kind of how guys are, right?
Right.
I didn't have a problem so much with that one. Spraying him in the face with a water hose. Yeah. I had a real problem with that one. Rub my feet. I have a real problem with that one. I didn't even have a problem with Timmy flipping the bird on the wheelchair when they were driving. Right. It is what it is. But there's just certain things where it's like, you cannot just full blast water hose Timmy in the face. You just waterboarded him basically in front of us. Yeah, that's told him to trust you and turn around again to do it to him again. Now you've taken it to a different level of bullying. Like, now you're being an asshole.
Right.
So I think Patrick is I think he was definitely just in it for the money. I think so. And obviously when the money came, look, that dude made how much on Facebook in 1 month?
Yeah, I know that he made 15,000 on Facebook in 1 month, because I saw the receipt. He did show me that receipt.
Listen, I made $52,000 in 4 years on YouTube. All right. And that's doing good on YouTube. Now, I know it took about 2 years where I wasn't really doing anything of that. So you can call it 2 years. That's it's not a living, but it's good. This dude made $15,000 in 1 month off of Whittaker's and gave them nothing.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm not trying to defend Patrick, but I just want to be fair in this.
Yeah.
Now, I believe, and this is now hindsight, okay, because Patrick didn't offer this information, but I believe that Patrick's money was frozen. Now, why he didn't say it, I don't.
It was.
So that's why he didn't give them anything.
Yes, absolutely. I think Patrick
But before the money was frozen, they had months to give them stuff.
Absolutely. But once it started to come out, not very long after it started to really hit your ears, my ears, all of us started to really buzz about it. Within weeks, it was locked down. Their accounts were locked because that's Eric. I think it was Eric tried to go give them money, tried to go give the state police in Virginia money.
That's what he said. He said that.
And they said no. They told him, nope, we don't want that. You keep it. You put it in your account. You leave it there. We are not going to take any money. Why would he do that? Because he knows he has their money and he was trying to give it back. Why haven't they charged him for it? Now, Patrick, they know. They don't like Patrick. They've arrested Patrick many times. Guilty every time, probably. Like, I'm not taking up for the guy, but they know they don't like Patrick. Eric, I think, has gotten off. Why would you try to go give money to the police? Because it's not your money. You're automatically running, trying to save yourself. Here's the money that I owe these people.
Right.
Right? And the police did the absolute correct thing. I think federal charges need to be launched against these dudes.
Yeah, I think so too, because, and I said that as well, simply because it's online. It is federal. I mean, people donated from all
Yep.
over
Yep.
the world, Rick. And you know
Yep.
that. People donated
Yeah.
from all over the world. And the Whittakers have nothing to show. There is nothing. They have nothing.
Not even a new pair of shoes.
The
nothing.
person that there was a woman that went in there. Betty was sick. Betty was sick, and I think she was in the hospital actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody went into her house and they painted, because I saw the pictures and everything.
Yes.
And if Eric and Patrick would have just done the bare minimal,
Yeah.
the house could have been at least livable on the standards that nobody was going to take the family away. And if they had just done the right thing, nobody would have taken the family away. But now, I mean, what's done, unfortunately, is done. We can't go back and undo that. Which,
if you take 1/3 of only Patrick's Facebook for the 1 month, that's $5,000. Do you know what $5,000 does to that family's home? A lot. Now you compound it, you do it over and over and over for 5 months. You put $25,000 into that home and you have everything that you need. And I don't care about the flooding tables or the,
right.
there is a
I
creek
agree.
that runs through there. I don't care about none of that because all of it can be overcome.
Right.
There is a fix for everything when it comes to construction, right? There is no unlivable place in America. It's just how do we make it livable?
Right.
How much will it cost? Right? These guys, I don't believe for a minute that Eric had the Amish going to build a house. I don't believe that. There were no permits pulled, and then maybe they went and looked to see about it or whatever, to see what it would cost, and then all of this popped off. I don't know the timing of everything.
Right.
What I do know is Eric Carroll ran back to Georgia with money for the Whittakers. Patrick Rourke had money that he was making hand over fist for the Whittakers. The Whittakers can account for zero of those dollars. They did not get their third. Both of these men are culpable because both of these men have Whittaker money in their bank accounts.
Absolutely. Do you think that, and this is speculation, of course, do you think that Eric set Patrick up to?
Yes. Everything.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he saw him as the dumb hillbilly and he hooked him and that was it. On his way out, he did. Absolutely. I don't think he used APS as a weapon per se. I think he used it as a scorched earth tactic. I think he was burning it all down on the way out, and I'm gonna call CPS or APS on them and have them come out there
three times.
Mhm.
3 times, Rick. That's the
Yes.
problem. He was
Yeah.
doing it until they finally came and took that family away. That's
Yeah.
what.
Yeah. And and then they let BJ just take the hit for it. They said, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
because BJ's on the property." That had nothing to do with it.
Of course
Those
not,
living
because
conditions were deplorable. They were horrible. So,
do you think that here's my theory. My theory is obviously everybody knew how they lived. Nobody bothered them because there's people that live like that in the hollers.
yes.
Okay. And there's people that live worse in the world. We see it now. Rick, people are living in tents, people are living in their cars. We know that. I bought a
Skid Row.
camper. I bought a
Skid Row.
camper because, right, you know, um, so there are people that live in deplorable
Mhm.
situations. So we see that, and so the state, they knew about the Whittakers. So now it's like, do you think it was because we know that Eric created an urgency that made phone calls come through, and then
Yes.
you have it online? Do you think it was the pressure of all of that that made the state say we can't turn a blind eye anymore, we have to do something now?
Yeah. So down there, I think everything's more good old boy, and it's just been let slide through the system. And there's finally somebody probably that stepped up and said, "Look, I'm not going to sit here and take these kind of phone calls anymore. We've seen what they're living like. This is our chance." BJ's name gets thrown into it. She was investigated for dumping on her cousin, uh, and there's nothing to that. Like she beat a dog to, and trust me, I don't even like BJ.
I know, I was gonna say when you were
But
telling the story that you're not a fan of BJ's, you're just saying it as it
yeah,
is.
yeah, and even Larry, we've had some really in-depth conversations. Like I said, we've had some very tense moments and some crying moments together. Uh, and I'm not a fan or not of Larry, but when it comes to BJ, I think she gets a bad rap for she does a lot of dumb stuff. She is a gasoline stealing, ice smoking, like
She has a drug problem. She has come
oh
out
yeah,
and said that.
yeah,
She
yeah,
has not denied that. She has come out
right,
and said that she's trying. And I
yes,
believe that there are times that she's trying. I mean, listen, I had my own issues 40 years ago.
yeah,
And
me too,
I was blessed that I didn't have an addiction. I had an abuse problem. And there's a
yeah,
big difference there,
yeah,
because if
yeah,
you're addicted, that's the disease. Abuse is bad behavior that you could correct. But there are
yes,
some people that are addicted, and that's harder. That's
yeah,
much harder. So
and I think BJ's gotten a really bad. I think that a jacket. They've put a bad jacket on BJ in this. And she's just as much of a victim of it all as she is a perpetrator, right?
right.
Um, but like I said, the rest of the family, Larry and his part of that family tree, uh, I don't I don't sit up at night thinking about them. On how can I help them? Betty, I do because
Right.
she's lost. She's lost everything that woman has ever lived for since the day she was kindergarten age till now was taken, and it's all by outsiders.
That's
She needs to
exactly.
be, yeah, she needs to be with her family, and they don't need to be anywhere around the rest of the family. That's my opinion. I mean, I don't.
No, that's fine. But you listen, you've been there, and that's why I wanted, you to come on and talk, and I wanted people to understand, what it's like to actually have been there,
To
and
change your
to
life.
you know, that's a good thing. And that's what you would think that. I mean, that's what Eric was trying to sell us. That's what Patrick was trying to sell us. That Timmy changed his life, made him a better person. Eric was doing something good for the family. These things might have been, like you said, the beginning of it, but then somewhere along the line, money came into it, and money became more important than, and both of them could have worked together, money and
Yes.
doing
Oh
right
yeah.
for the Whittakers.
Oh yeah.
And
And
everybody
a
would have
lot
been
of it.
very, very happy. Yes, exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody would have been very, very happy. You
Yeah.
know what I said, and I put this out there on a video, and I said to BJ in a video, and I've never spoken to BJ, but if she just did a storytelling time
Yes.
and talked about her family, she
Yes.
doesn't even have to put pictures up. Do
Nope.
you know that that family's capable of making their own money? They're
So
totally capable.
we tried to set that up. Me, Weavy, and I brought my little brother, Brandon, as his name, when we went down there the first time. And I left Brandon in West Virginia for a month while I drove to do other interviews with like some Hell's Angels presidents and things like that across the central part of the country. Um, so I leave Brandon. Him and Big Weavy are supposed to set up the channel for the Whittakers, controlled by the Whittakers with their address, their bank, their number, all of it. Money goes
Yeah.
straight to them. And because there's no, like when you get that deep into that holler, there's no internet, there's no cell service, they can't even upload videos. So I left Brandon so that him and Weavy could come twice a week, see what they had filmed, and try and upload it. They would drive to get service and upload it, and it was quickly became like an issue. Whereas like, all right, they're not going to be able to record it, they're not going to be able to upload it. How do we leave this to them? And then my life started to really fall apart too. Like I'm not perfect, and and it kind of got pushed off into the background, right? And then as things got better for me, like the Whittakers, just it started with the Tyler Oliveira thing, and then now the Patrick thing, where it's like, oh man, you know,
Right.
could I have been there more? Could I have done? Could we have finished that project for them? But I think it's the only way for the Whittakers. Listen, anybody who takes a donation for the Whittakers is scamming your fucking ass. Do not give them a dime, right? You have to look at it like that way. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't.
Right.
But in
Right.
your mind, you have to say, no, I will
Right. Right.
never. You come and I talk about the Whittakers on my channel, I expressly put up in my comments and pin it to the top. Do not send me money for the Whittakers. I'll do this. We'll get it done. We have ways of getting things done. We have secured lumber for their new porch from the lumber yard for free, right? Do not send your hard-earned money to these
Right. 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 Right.
oil
Right.
salesmen,
Right. Right. Right.
because
Right.
all you're giving them is a reason to not give the Whittakers their end of it and run off.
Right. Yeah.
Getting a lawyer for Betty, like what are we even talking about? We are talking about trying to find somebody to beat an unbeatable case for Betty, who is not old or young enough, right?
Right.
Has heart condition herself, has not been properly trained, cannot do CPR. To bring three nonverbal members with special needs back to her home with no running water, to not wash their hands after they eat, to not take a shower at night, to wear the same pair of clothes for months, to just go to the bathroom in their pants. And then she'll hand them a bologna sandwich, and then things happen.
Right.
Like it's not sanitary. That's
Right.
what we're fighting for? Why? Fight for Betty to go to the good place that they're all at so they can all
Right.
be together there. That needs to be the fight because it's the better option.
Right. No, when I was reading the letter you wrote, and I was like, again, it's been several months. It doesn't seem like they're getting there, and it seems like we're not going to win this one. We're not going to be able to bring them back if this lawsuit. I mean, I'm very surprised that nobody has passed on since everything has happened, to be honest with you, because
Yeah.
how traumatic when
Yeah.
they realize that they haven't seen their sister, or they don't know what's happened to their sister, and she doesn't know what's happened to her siblings. Like, absolutely.
Betty, like we said earlier, you're just watching her age in dog years. That's a great way to put it. Uh, it's like I feel so bad for her, and don't get it twisted. It's not like I could just show up at the Whittakers and just knock on the door right now and go talk to Betty.
Mhm.
No outsiders are being allowed around them, and that's the way it needs to be, right? Uh, Forever. But Betty needs to be taken. Like we need to. I don't even know. I've racked my brain. You know, call APS and tell them Betty needs to be with her damn siblings. That's what really needs to happen. They need a spot for Betty, and let the rest of them let that family lineage go. Let them die off. Right? Too much has gone on with that family. They need to be let
See, but
back into
that's
the
where
wild.
I hear that. I hear that. But then I also see a sister who would have to decide which family members are more important. And that is a very hard thing,
I don't
because
even think
not
it would be.
only,
I
but
don't think
not
it would be.
really, because what about the great nieces and the great nephews? What about like those kids that there's
There,
pictures of Betty holding and stuff?
there is a brother alive that lives a couple of hollers over. Looks just like Ray Ray, just like him. Talks normal, like we're talking right now. It is like you're looking at an AI version of Ray Ray if he
Wow.
didn't have the issues that he has. This family it's not a small family. It's a big
Right,
family.
right, right.
But the nonverbal family members are better off where they're at. They have sustained too much neglect, abuse. Uh, People have taken too big advantage of them, inside and outside, from afar and from close, right? And where they're at right now, as long as if we could get Betty there, that's the answer. That's the only answer. It needs to stop being we need to get lawyers to help Betty get her family back. It needs to be we need to get Betty reunited with her family.
Yeah, because there's people that want to adopt Betty. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, Rick. But let me ask you this, and you might not know the answer to this, but I'm already hearing the subscribers in the community saying, why isn't that brother stepping up and trying to help get some sort of liaison, something? Why aren't the family members that are capable of having conversations that are worldly, or at least a bit more worldly than Betty and Larry? Why aren't they?
They have
Where have
issues.
they been?
They have issues. They don't talk. Larry has run them off. They don't talk.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's those. Ooh.
Like there are and then you have say the uncle that did what he did to BJ, whoever did what they did to Lorraine, right? This family, I'm telling you, is messed up. And there is a lot of deep-seated dirty issues.
So there's a
And
separation with the family, like,
right,
and that's understandable, because you don't need even that to have separation with family. The most
yeah,
normal families have issues.
right, right. So
So,
imagine your family is the Whittakers. Imagine you get out of that holler. You're normal, somehow cognitively there. You have your own family. You want them down there?
yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Absolutely, I hear you. I hear
Yeah,
that, you would be concerned with good reason to be concerned. Yeah,
right.
I
You
hear
get
you.
away and you
Absolutely.
stay away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you get out of there and you dump your name and that's it, man. You know, that's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's listen, the psychology of it all is is crazy if you're into just studying people and kind of how they act and think and the horrors that they go through and what that does to them and
Yeah.
how they try to recover from it or not. Uh, the mind breaking almost. And
Right.
everybody on that property's mind has been broken now, in one way or the other. Larry
Right.
buried his wife.
Right.
Yes,
Right. Yeah. 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 Hmm.
he tried to hold it all together, and it all
Right.
fell apart still right in front of him.
Right.
Betty's entire life has been taking care of those three people, and they were ripped away from her. What's her
Right.
life now?
Right.
Who's she making sandwiches for?
Yeah. No, we would definitely get on board with you know, helping Betty get, of course it'd be her choice, but if that would be the thing, I'm sure that, we get people on board. But the whole problem is, getting her, like, where do you even begin? Calling APS and forcing, saying Betty's not safe where she's at, just like you took the other three. Can you come back and get
Well,
her?
obviously, yeah. You forgot one. No, so obviously that's not the option in that form, right? Like the last thing you want is them coming back, snatching Betty, because basically for the family they just kidnap Betty now,
Right,
right?
right, right.
So that's not. Uh, you would try to set it to where Betty can willfully, wantfully move to be with them.
Right,
And I'm guessing there would need to be a lawyer involved in something like that.
right.
But not so much on in like standing in front of the court type of deal, just kind of like a
A
broker.
mediator, a
Yeah,
mediator,
there you go, like a
a
mediator
mediator.
to
Yeah,
get Betty back with them, or at least be able to go see them. But they're
right,
never going to let Larry just drive up with Betty and walk into the facility because they understand Larry holds a power that most people don't understand. Like that is a man you do not want around the rest of that family when you're trying to hide them from them, right? Like
right. Okay,
that dude
okay,
will come. You
right.
want to keep it a secret. And so I understand, and it's not even saying anything terrible like Larry is John Wick or anything, but he's kind of is.
Right, right.
You know,
Well, I
he
don't know. I mean, I'm trying to put it together in my head. I'm sure that tonight I'm going to have visions of Larry Whittaker in the Walking Tall poster in my head. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, he is that guy. Like he's a mover and a shaker. The man could have been a politician out there if he wanted to, and he could have ran that whole area because he already does sort of. He definitely runs his family in that holler, and there's no close second. Even his
Wow.
grandsons cower down, and they're
He
little shit.
would he let her? So would he let Betty
Oh
go?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. He would just try and storm the facility and steal his cousins back and his nieces and nephews and sisters and brothers. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you don't want him to know because he will come get them.
Oh, okay, okay,
Hmm.
okay. So then now this is starting to make sense as to why they won't tell him where they're
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Larry will
saying?
show up with the rest of the family and start snatching souls and grab his family, put them in the car, and drive the hell out of there.
Mm.
Like that is not the dude. I understand why they don't, because he holds just this power about himself. That is a powerful man.
How come he doesn't seem like Patrick didn't seem afraid of him? Patrick doesn't seem to. I mean, he's spoken to Larry quite a few times that we see in videos and stuff. He doesn't seem to have that feeling. I could be wrong, but
Yeah,
I just haven't seen that in the videos that they've put out.
maybe Patrick hasn't lived around killers for decades. Maybe Patrick just doesn't know any better. Patrick had just come back around there. He like went to school with Timmy or
Right,
something.
right, right, right.
And Larry's older now too, but You know, they're all getting. You forget how old they are until you
No,
just
they
think
are.
about
They're
it.
old, and that's the concern. That's the concern.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Rick, I thank you, man. I thank you for taking the time
yeah, yeah.
and do you have
These are just my opinions,
no, I
and everything
appreciate
we've said
that.
is perfectly. I'm good with, you know, like I say what I mean and mean what I say. I try to live by that. If I
Right.
make a mistake or if I say something like me and you kind of going at each other, things like that, I'm man enough to apologize for my mistakes or for saying things I shouldn't have said. I'll
I
always own
appreciate
my own, you
and
know.
man, I appreciate that. There should be more men like you, my friend. There should be more men like you. I appreciate that. And I want to keep in touch with you. I would
Okay.
love to get you on my other channel and talk about your time in prison because
Okay.
you know I used to work in a jail. I think you know that I used to work in a jail, totally different from a prison. Um, but
Still, yeah.
it's fascinating to me. I the whole like when you were talking about the sociology of the way people live, right?
Yeah.
Like the whole prison system and the whole jail world that exists once those doors slam
Yep.
is to me it's fascinating. And that was my favorite job was working in the jails and the most safest job I felt.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I mean, we kind of when you have female COs or outside staff that are females,
Yeah,
uh,
because I wasn't a CO. I
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
a commissary manager and
There you
started
go.
in the kitchen. Yeah.
Yeah, any outside staff, especially in the kitchen, you're actually, you know,
Gold.
you're
It's gold there, man. It's
yeah.
gold there.
Yeah. But
Everybody
you know,
wants
we try
extra
and look out.
portions.
Yeah, we try and look out for the female COs. Of course, you're going to get hit on by everybody. It just is what it is. Like a
Yeah.
bunch of guys haven't seen a woman, and then you come around like, "Hey, girl," that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we try and look out for female COs. But there are some that man catch you yelling out the window at them, just cussing them out because you just can't stand this one. She's
Right.
vicious, you know.
Right.
So
Right. Right. Right.
you
Right.
know, but that's a whole different
Yeah, but
conversation. Yeah, definitely.
I would love to have a conversation with you about that. So I
Yeah.
will reach out to you and I
Okay.
want to stay in touch with you. My channel's gonna my channel's gonna write a check in April, something for the Whittakers. I don't know where the money will go for
Yeah.
them.
Your
So
heart your heart is pure, and wherever it tells you the money should go, that's where the money should go. Like
well the
I
canyon's
really
gonna
don't
help me
think
with
that
that.
you're in this for any other reason except for you have a good heart. That's the only reason that I'm sitting here talking to you about
I
any of this
appreciate
because
that.
I haven't talked to anybody about it. I don't give anybody really interviews ever. Uh, like I've done like Vice TV or A&E things like that on the
Right.
biker stuff, but
Right.
uh, like I don't give interviews and I don't have conversations. This isn't really an interview; it's more of a conversation. But
Right.
uh, and that's because you have a pure heart. So whatever your heart tells you is the right way. Me personally, I would steer away from trying to get a lawyer to get them to go back to the
No,
hell that
I
they
don't
were
think
in.
I think that you're right in saying that well one so much time has gone by
Yeah,
and two I think you're right. I don't know that anybody will still be around to survive it and maybe if it's a year that they're gone, maybe they're used to that now. And so who am I to get in there and say what's best for the family? I've never wanted to come in and say what's best for the family,
no,
but it
no,
was clearly what was
it's
best for the
heartbreaking.
family at one point to leave them alone and not tear them apart. And then
Yeah,
as soon as they were taken, yeah, I wanted them to get back together and all of this. And then there were people just standing in the way of even somebody going down there to help fix up the house. I
yeah,
mean, we weren't even asking for money. I had somebody that was going to donate like a month out of the and there were people just nasty, just
yeah.
like the family shouldn't get anything.
Right. Well, you have those people. Then you have there was a woman who tried to scam them into signing the deed over to the house or something to her to fix it up. Like there are all sides of, as it's like American politics right now, right? You have
Right,
the
right,
far right, far left, right? And then you have people like us. I think we're kind of in the middle where we can hear both sides
right,
and we
right,
can try to mold it using both sides and try to come to a better conclusion of how this looks now. And like you said, it's been too much time. If you don't think that they're better off right now, besides Betty, who is definitely not better off right now,
right.
but the three nonverbal members, if you don't think that they are better off right now than they were the day they were taken, you're wrong. Should
Right.
we have fought to get them back onto their property the day after they were taken? Yes. Now that fight is done. Don't
Yeah,
do it.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree
Yeah.
with that. So yeah, so I'm ready to start the next chapter and hoping to get Betty there, and we'll see, where that leads with that, and we'll kind of we'll
Somebody with
kind of
better
get,
legal mind, it
yeah,
has to be watching this. One of you in the chat
right.
will have a better answer of how to legally maneuver through or mediate, like you said, to get Betty with them and off that property completely. Like
Yeah.
it's but thank you for at least, you know, when I wrote what I wrote, it was just, this is my feeling on it. Either she's really going to hate my guts right now or she's going to have an open mind. And I'm glad that you're strong enough minded to have an open mind, because everything I say in it is, I feel down to my
Right.
soul.
Right.
And
Right.
thank you. Thank you for being
No,
one of the
thank
few
you.
people.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm going to stay in touch, Rick. And
All
only
right.
good things for you. Happy Valentine's Day in 2 hours. If nobody wishes
Yes.
you a happy Valentine, I'm going to wish you one. And I
All right.
appreciate you, my friend, and God bless. And if there's anything you need from me, please reach out. Please reach out.
Definitely. Definitely. We'll be in touch.
Okay. All right.
All
Take
right.
care.
All
Thank
right.
you, Rick. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bing, boing, bing. Everybody has a story to tell with Toddy One Skip.